We are still potentially on the cusp of a further 35% pump to the upside, and I want to break down for you exactly why I'm seeing that in this YouTube video. Bitcoin ended up falling down to that kind of $20,000 range and got that bounce up as I was talking about in my previous video. So shout out to those of you who have been subscribed to this YouTube channel, getting all of these updates around the clock. Ladies and gents, also from our Four Flies Gold Telegram channel. Not the first link in the description anymore, but one of the links in the description down below. And what I want to draw your attention to now is the fact that Bitcoin ended up rising right back up to basically the highs that it set. When was this now? Just 4 days ago, my bad, at the time of me recording this video. And we've actually now kind of actually risen above that level by just a little bit, which I think is absolutely great because this is showing us that we're really continuing to brush up against these resistance levels. Now, there's one concern that I have on this chart, which is that it looks to me like we could be potentially looking at a potential double top. So take a look at this. If we zoom in just a little bit more, it's hard to say, but if you are a bear, you're definitely going to be looking at this right here, kind of hinting at the fact that we may be looking to drop down, form that classic M-shaped pattern, which usually means that we're going to sweep this low and then drop much, much lower. So bears are going to be looking out for that. And that is something which I am somewhat concerned about. But what I do like seeing here, ladies and gents, is that the first time we came up to this level, Bitcoin actually ended up trading sideways, consolidating a little bit. And you know what? If we actually replay this chart back to around right here, it does to me look like Bitcoin could have been in either a symmetrical triangle that would look a little bit like this. So this would have been bullish. Obviously, we know what happened. It didn't end up working out. Or somewhat of a falling wedge pattern as well. So again, very similar chart pattern. Both of these would generally indicate that Bitcoin is going to be rising to the upside. Now, why am I showing you this? Well, yes, obviously, it didn't end up working out for Bitcoin. Bitcoin did just kind of fall flat from it. But we're doing it again, guys. We're doing this, pardon me, we're doing the same thing again right now with Bitcoin's chart, where we've made this move up. And if we actually kind of take a look with some lines at what's going on, Bitcoin is now potentially forming another kind of flagpole situation here, which is very obvious if I hide the chart. We're forming that classic kind of flagpole pattern, which generally is going to be leading us to the upside. And in fact, the more technically accurate way to draw this would be to duplicate this line and then take a look at what potential target that gives us, which is right at the top of my resistance area right here. So we bring the chart back on and bam, it fits in really, really nicely. It makes a lot of sense. And the reason that I like this, the reason that I think this is actually significant is because it's showing us that we're hitting these kind of areas of resistance, just basically psychological resistance at $21,000, but we're not really getting such bad rejections off it, right? I mean, the first rejection here was very much called for, very, very much called for, because we had a fairly substantial rally. It's the first nice rally that we've had in, about 30 days, really, let's be honest, guys. And then we kind of pulled back a little bit. Let's actually throw a fib on this. Let's see if there's any interesting Fibonacci levels right here. So we fell down to the 0.5 level. Nothing good here, actually. Maybe draw it down to this low right here. I mean, yeah, kind of falling down to the 382 level. I don't know. It's nothing huge, but there is definitely something there, given that we did fall down to that 382 level right there. And to see that we're now, again, just hanging around at this resistance level is exactly what we need to see to tell us that this market may actually have a little bit more juice left in the tank to potentially make this rally to the upside. So I think that's actually really, really cool. I'm very happy to see that because, the alternative, guys, what could have otherwise happened if this market was, dare I say, a little bit more bearish, is we wouldn't be hanging around these levels and we would have actually just gotten a very quick rejection, something that would look a little bit like this. That hasn't happened. Instead of kind of just falling flat right down, we're just kind of hanging around at this same price level. And we know what this looks like, right? Previously, when we kind of hit these resistance, I mean, this isn't the same resistance area, but previously when we hit this resistance area at 20.3, it was resistance back here. Look at how quickly we got this rejection. Again, look at how quickly we got this rejection. Over here, how quickly we got the rejection. Guys, we can trace this back. It's very, very clear. When a pump isn't going to stay, we fall quite quickly. On this occasion right here, we fell quite quickly. We don't have that right now, guys. We have been hanging around at these resistance levels and also within a relatively short period of time. Now, what we know about resistance levels, especially resistance levels that aren't particularly strong, on this YouTube channel anyway, this is something that I talk about quite a bit, is that if we're hanging around a resistance level, the more we kind of hang around there, the more likely we are to break it, right? I gave you guys the exact same analysis in this very big video that I made, some days back, where I was talking about the daily EMA ribbon, saying that we are just hanging around this resistance level. We're not actually actually getting substantial rejections to the downside. We're just kind of hugging the resistance. And when that kind of thing happens, it generally does indicate that we could be ready to move to the upside. I'm telling you guys the same thing again right now, ladies and gents. We've got the same setup on this chart right now. And to me, that is exciting. That is exactly what I want to see. Now, not only are we seeing those kind of signs, if we zoom in a little bit closer, we're starting to develop a little bit of nice support. So if things do go bad for Bitcoin, it's probably, potentially, I don't know, I don't want to say probably, but it's potentially going to be okay. If we take a look at this with the 4-hour EMA ribbon, we now have a confirmed bounce off our EMA support ribbon, which definitely tells us that this is an action. We've got a really nice spread, so we do have a little bit more space to just dip down and then capture more support to potentially target the upside again. So I really am liking that. On top of that, take a look at the fear and greed index, guys. We're at 34. This is exactly where we were 4 days ago, a little bit higher actually, but we're not skyrocketing here, guys. Our fear and greed index was flatlining for a long time, between 20 to 25 for quite a while now. Now we're in the low 30s. This is okay. It has risen originally a little bit faster than I would have liked. It jumped by 13 points in one day, but that was a breakout day, right? I think that was warranted. The fact that we haven't been continuing to climb with any real aggression now is a very, very good sign in my opinion. People are still worried. People are still bearish given what's going on in the market. And if we take a look at what our long and short ratios are showing us, we do have Binance still majority short right here, which is the most important one to be looking at because this data excludes top traders, right? So only the bottom traders, only the traders that tend to lose money are taken into account with this data. So that tells us that the majority of them are still going short. It has flipped a little bit for Bybit and FTX, which is concerning, but given that Binance is still majority short, I think is a really, really good sign, and I'm definitely happy to see that because this is, again, more of an indication that this market could be ready to rally to the upside. And if we do end up pushing to the upside, the real kind of resistance that I'm seeing is going to be a little bit further up towards that 21.7k level. But given the fact that we have been struggling around here now, I think that we might have a little bit more of a breezy time breaking this area because we've already found our resistance, right? I'm not expecting us to hang around these levels for too long, but it does of course depend on what happens to indices like the S&P 500, guys. The S&P 500 closed really, really nicely right here up at 3,900, which I think is absolutely great. Let me just remove these lines here because I don't need them anymore. Bam, just remove these and then bring my main chart back on. We are in that resistance area now, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but this could end up being somewhat of a problem for Bitcoin because, as you guys know very well, I've been saying for a long time that I think Bitcoin is going to be moving largely, in what's the word? Correlation. That's not the word. I think it's going to be moving basically at in similar ways to the S&P 500. And if we are approaching resistance here, that could turn out to be a little bit of a problem. But I think the dollar is also not in the best of positions. The dollar has potentially just kind of topped out right here. This little, downward trend that's been happening for the dollar could continue, and take the dollar even lower. It's pretty clear now that we are in at least some sort of a short-term downtrend for the dollar, given that we have set now two lower highs, one lower high and one lower low, which is absolutely fantastic, which could indicate that we are going to continue to move to the downside. But if you zoom in a little bit, we take a look at this on the 1 hour time frame, it does actually to me look like we could be looking at just kind of consolidating, maybe a brief pullback, and then continue to move to the upside for the dollar. So short term not looking too good for our speculative markets, but when we zoom out a little bit more, it is still looking pretty damn rosy for us, and I do like the look of that. And at the same time, look at all the speculation going on in the altcoin market, guys. Ethereum skyrocketing right here up to 0.078 BTC per Ethereum token. Absolutely fantastic stuff here. If we're able to break above this, I think it's going to be a pretty easy rise up to 0.085 BTC per token, and really it could just fly from there. So we've definitely got the setup. We've hit this resistance area so many times now since May of 2021. We're going back 28 months, like something very, very long, and I think that's definitely something to keep in mind, right? If we look at this going back to May 2021, we've had 1, 2, 3, I don't really want to count this one yet, 4, 5, 6, and now 7 attempts at this resistance area. This resistance area can't hold forever, guys. We did get a breakout right here that makes it number 8 and number 9 right here. But these were fake outs. I mean, they didn't end up holding for the market. Look, I don't know if we're gonna get a 10th or 9th. You know what I mean? Like I think that if we are gonna kind of pump up above this now, there's a pretty good chance that these gains are gonna stick. You know, and that's something which I think in itself deserves a whole video. So if that's something that you want to see, guys, do me a favor, throw up a thumbs up on this video, hit that like button, subscribe, stick the bell to all that good stuff, so that I know that you guys want me to make that video. I also want to talk to you guys a little bit about Doge. I'm not gonna focus on it too much, but guys, look at Doge against Bitcoin right here, absolutely skyrocketing, a face melting rally. This on the daily time frame has basically doubled. You know, there's a lot of speculation for why this happened, but I think the main speculation is just Elon Musk buying Twitter. You know, obviously this is pretty cool for Doge holders. I had a question from a friend of mine asking me, what do I think he should do? You know, I mean, obviously, aside from the fact that I'm not a financial advisor, this is a weird, you know, I mean, you can't really analyze a chart like this. It can go absolutely haywire. This is why I don't tend to look at coins like Doge. It's basically happened on no volume as well. I don't know why we're ignoring that, but you know, I think that this is, you know, it's not something that's an ideal situation. You know, if you're foaming at your mouth, just kind of wishing that you were in Doge right now, then this channel probably isn't for you guys. Let's be honest. You're you know, you're just too emotional. Please don't watch me. You're gonna lose money and blame it on me. But yeah, you know, this is, I think, a representation of the altcoin market going crazy. And looking at this against the dollar as well, you know, it has absolutely skyrocketed right here as well, up to 12 cents, down up from yeah, basically 6 cents right here. So it has doubled, you know, with just within just a few days, which is absolutely great for Doge holders. I mean, you know, what happens now? Well, you know, Doge is at a little bit of resistance, could drop down, whatever. It's a very emotionally charged, psychologically charged market. So I don't really want to give too much analysis on this, because the fact is, guys, you can't. There's just not much you can do at a time like this, at a place like this in this market, because this can, I mean, it's like GameStop and stuff like that. You know, when these things go absolutely crazy, it could literally do fucking anything, and you can't apply technical analysis to it. I mean, you can try, you'd probably be wasting your time. You know, this is the kind of thing that I don't think is super well worth looking at, but you know, what I think is worth looking at are some of the other coins that are a little bit you know, kind of more less volatile, but still move in, you know, fairly sensible ways compared to coins like Doge. So there's a lot of speculation going on here, guys. You know, Binance also making a little bit of a move to the upside. So the sun is definitely shining on the crypto space. We already knew this was going to happen, guys. I was calling for this for a really, really long time. By God, it was not a popular opinion on YouTube. I was telling you guys that I'm uncomfortable talking about it on YouTube because I don't like it. You know, it's not comfortable for me, because I didn't know we were going to get this pump. I strongly thought we would, but I didn't know for a fact, and that makes me uncomfortable, right? If I'm basically going so far against the herd. But that's exactly what this YouTube channel is bringing. So again, guys, if you do appreciate that kind of content, do me a favor, just make sure that you do hit that like button up. Really, it's nice. It's nice to see all that support. Especially when I'm putting my balls out on the line publicly in front of 127,000 subscribers, saying things that are very, very unpopular. But of course, it is delivering true, accurate, correct, technical analysis. So it's obviously well worth it. Like I said, 21.8 is going to be our next area of resistance. I'm looking at 22.4. This is kind of where I think Bitcoin could potentially get up to. Really, I'm seeing 24K being on the cards. And the other really good thing that I am seeing with this chart, which also kind of alludes to the title, is if we take a look at our descending triangle. I always lose the chart that I drew this on right here. You know, if we take a look at our next kind of significant area on this chart where Bitcoin was finding support, you know, it is going to be right around over here. So Bitcoin was really kind of finding some fairly decent support around these price levels right here when it was dropping down during May and June. And, you know, I think that because of that, we are potentially looking at this being one of our targets if this rally does continue, because we've kind of pumped out of this descending triangle, right? So we've come out of an area of pretty low volatility. We've come out of quite a large time frame, fairly large time frame pattern, 130 days, right? It's definitely no small deal. You know, and if we do end up pumping up there, that is going to be a further, well, this is showing me 38%, but roughly a further kind of 35% pump to the upside, which I think is absolutely great. And if we actually measure this, let's take a look at what this is looking like. This is a 67% rally to the upside. So if we apply this moving up, then that does kind of put us in the 32K range. So you guys have heard me throwing around numbers like 28, 30 and 32. You know, really, I think there's just, you know, just this kind of general zone. If I if I just kind of draw a box, I just want to show you what the general zone might look like, is basically where I think, that we could find a little bit of resistance, kind of somewhere up there, potentially being a nice target for Bitcoin. We're still so far away, so I don't want to be making big conclusions on that, but things are still pointing to it. What I'm going to be interested in seeing is when the dollar opens, which is going to be roughly 24 hours from now at the time of me recording this video, what happens to the dollar? Does it continue to drop? Does it continue to rally up? Whatever. Depending on that, I think we could get some really nice answers. I don't know if I want to really be placing my bets on another really strong week for the S&P 500. Could definitely pull it off. It wouldn't be the first time, but this is two really, really strong weeks for the S&P 500. I don't know if we're going to be fortunate enough to get a third one in a row, especially when we're still in quite a macro bearish environment. I'm not fully convinced, to be honest, guys. It is something that I think is worth considering, but I wouldn't want to be placing all of my chips on that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not what it's an uncomfortable thing for me to bet heavy on, and that's why I'm gonna be just kind of being a little bit careful right here, because I think that could draw some problems for Bitcoin. This is gonna be a wait and see thing. You guys saw my previous live stream, my previous video with Mo, which I think went up just yesterday. Him and I were talking about how Sunday, basically today in my time zone, could end up being something quite significant for Bitcoin. So I'm gonna be coming back to you guys with another video on that when the time comes. But of course, guys, this is a very highly volatile market, super exciting. You already know the deal. I'm in a long position in a really, really nice profit. I think it's like 50% profit right now. Absolutely huge. Let me just calculate this. I entered right around over here, and up to our current price, it's a 5.8% move, and I used 10x leverage right here. So I'm sorry, right here. So whatever percentage move happens here, I get 10 times more profit. So that's 58%. I've shown VIPs exactly how I've done that and all of that good stuff just a few days before I even added to my Bitcoin long-term investment bag, which is a very, very rare thing for me. And of course, VIPs see absolutely everything I do, down to every little detail. So follow the link in the description. It's not the first link anymore, but it's down there. Follow the link in the description to jump into the 𝗬𝗪𝗏𝐺𝐿D Telegram channel, and then you can click on my name and then click on send message to ask me how to join 𝗬𝗪𝗏𝐺𝐿D's VIP, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. And guys, while you are down there, BitGet is offering you some really, really cool trading bonuses. Bam, there's me right there reading out in Los Angeles. If you want to get yourself inside and see what the deal is, guys, BitGet is offering you some really, really cool bonuses. And like I said earlier, these are not particularly difficult to get when you look at what other exchanges are offering. All you've got to do to get your $400 bonus right here is deposit $4,000 and trade a little bit. You're going to get $400 for free that you can trade with. You can do whatever you like with. You can gamble with it. You can do whatever you like. And if you make money, if you make profits, you can keep those profits as well. So that is a very, very cool offer. And the coolest thing about BitGet is that this is available anywhere in the world without a VPN, without KYC. So very, very cool. You can trade on BitGet, you can withdraw from BitGet, all of that good stuff. I've been using it. I am a fan of their systems. I mean, they're just as good as any other big exchange. They are a big exchange anyway. They're fairly big, so well worth checking out, because at the very least, worst case scenario, guys, you're going to get some free money and a backup exchange that you know is reliable. So you're not losing. Go ahead and check it out if you are interested in that kind of thing, because, well, you should be if you're trading with any serious sum of money or anything that you deem to be important to yourself. You need backups. It's about being a diligent, responsible trader. And again, if you're able to get some free money for it, then that's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? So go ahead and check that out, guys. With that, though, I am going to be signing off. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. You know exactly what to do. If you have enjoyed this video, hit up that like button, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. Follow the links on screen to get yourself inside of 𝗬𝗪𝗏𝐺𝐿D. To ask me how to join 𝗬𝗪𝗏𝐺𝐿D's VIP, it's going to put you in a direct chat with me. If I don't respond to you, of course, one of my assistants will. You already know the deal. Really hope you've enjoyed this one, though, and I'm out. Bye-bye.